Thousands of Congolese have already crossed into Uganda following fresh fighting in the DRC. Leon Senyange joins us live from Kampala with the latest. Hi there, Leon. Humanitarian organizations are saying that DRC refugees to Uganda are expected to double in the coming days. How prepared is Uganda, Leon, considering that it had only just recently closed some refugee camps at the border?
Well, it's important to understand the figures around this particular situation. According to the UNHCR, which is the UN Refugee Agency, approximately 71,000 refugees have crossed into Uganda since January. Many are fleeing from the fighting between the M23 rebels and the DRC government. Now, that figure is expected to more than double to approximately 150,000 refugees crossing into Uganda by the end of the year. That is a huge problem now because there is a dire need for the basic needs for these refugees: food, shelter, medical assistance. For the children, where will they be able to access schooling, and just like I said, shelter. So this presents itself as a huge problem as per now, but even still, Uganda continues to face a bigger crisis. Uganda is the host of approximately 1.5 million refugees. There is a need to cover for all these beyond those that are within the western part of the country. Is there adequate funding? Well, the authorities say not just enough to cover up for the needs of the refugees. Just under $50 million has been acquired for this year alone of about $800 million that was required for 2022. Now, as the year comes to one end, definitely the alarming bells are already being sounded to the fact that not much could actually be received to meet the requirements of the refugees, not just those crossing in from the DRC, but the broader number of those being hosted in the country.
Leon, this is such a heart-wrenching story because behind those numbers are actual people who are fleeing for the safety of themselves and for their children. And how is this new, and while that is the reality of what is happening, but how is this new influx of refugees likely to impact the ongoing efforts to contain an Ebola outbreak in Uganda?
Well, the western part of the country remains pretty much a hotspot for the Ebola situation. We know that the Ebola virus strain has hit part of Uganda in previous years, and more recently, about 2017, 2019. So the concern there still remains. Currently, the epicenter for the Ebola Sudan strain is within the central part of the country, but that hasn't stopped authorities from trying to have mitigation measures to deal with the possible outcome of whatever may actually come through from the western part of the country. So the fleeing of refugees from the DRC right into Uganda puts Uganda in very much a precarious situation. The testing facilities are being intensified. The health authorities continue to tell us that they are intensifying the measures to mitigate the spread of any possible strain at this point in time. But as they continue to deal with the Ebola Sudan strain, efforts as well are being put in the western part of the country to mitigate the spread of any or the possible occurrence of the Ebola virus strain.